Oh, son, what's good, my boy? This gonna be a shorter video. I'm gonna teach you how to ground yourself and stop overthinking with all these ideas in your fucking cranium. I love Da Vinci. Da Vinci is like one of my favorite early age philosopher type people. This motherfucker, I'm reading his book by Isaac Williamson. I think that's his name right now. And god damn, Da Vinci was just so interesting. All these facets and shit he did, they kind of aligned with me because over the past 3 months, I've been trying to interchange and interwork all these different hobbies that I love doing. My main job for 8 hours through the day is I'm a general contractor and I build different structures for people's homes, do work, little jobs here and there, all different type of construction shit. And I love the craft of it, turning a pile of wood into a giant fucking structure that people live in and celebrate for 50 years. It's kind of sad whenever you leave and you do super detailed artistic shit on there, but I digress. I do that. I love making these videos to help inspire, motivate, educate, and lead people to faith. I love oil painting. Some of that rubbed off from like people like Da Vinci, but I do like portrait paintings and oil paintings and stuff like that. I've showcased them on my channel before. I love playing music. I play 3 different instruments on this shit. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn or nothing like that. I'm just saying, making the correlation of why I love Da Vinci so much. He was so multi-talented and a mathematician, an inventor, a painter, a sculptor, all these different things in one. But there's a big problem whenever you try to do all of these different things at once. Also, you want to keep up with this form of entertainment. Also, you want to keep educating yourself and dive into all this philosophy. But then you also want to keep digesting all this religion and all these different angles at once. But there's only 24 hours in the day. So you become overwhelmed, you become overworked, you become hyper-fixated, running on caffeine and stimulants, keeping yourself going. You gotta breathe, old son. You gotta practice mindful breathing, aka meditation. You gotta ground yourself. That's how you're gonna stop overthinking. I take 3 scoops of instant coffee in the morning in a mason jar of water. 3 of them, mix it up, and boy, once I get that shit going, I'm like, fuck, I don't even want to leave for work. I start working on my business and all these different ideas and start just flowing in my head, and I start thinking, well, I could do this oil painting today, or I could do this, because I have ADHD and I'm halfway retarded, maybe a little autism sprinkled on top as well. And I feel like a lot of other people have that too. I see a lot of people talking about that shit online. But it's like you get all these ideas and contradictions and different avenues in your brain where it gets overwhelming and you just get enveloped by all these thoughts. I have found the tool and the reason to meditate. For the longest, I've been on self-improvement, and you see all these people be like, meditate and journal and all this different shit. And these practices have meaning. These people are just bad at explaining the purpose of them. Like meditation is like an amazing tool. I don't really fit it into my daily schedule like the 10-minute I have to get this done type thing every single day and I cram it in where it doesn't really have much impact in my opinion. But I use it as a tool. Whenever I start overthinking this shit, immediately shut down. Whenever I get sucked in and addicted to scrolling on my phone, immediately shut off. Whenever I can't focus and contemplate something or I'm stumped, immediately shut down. Close your eyes. This is how to meditate. Close your eyes. No om, no hippy dippy faggy shit. Just close your eyes, and with pushing out your belly, I want you to push out your belly and try to breathe into your stomach, or your balls, as some of these people say. You breathe in as deep as you possibly can. Now, if you are a frequent smoker or marijuana user, it's going to be hard because your lung capacity going to be a little shrunk like I was. I smoked fucking weed for so many years and finally quit. But you breathe in deep into them lungs, deep into that stomach. You got that breath in there. I can't breathe it because I got to talk. And then you breathe out as much air as you can expel until you literally feel like you're going to cave your stomach in with no more air. That's how you do it. And you focus on those in and out. in and out. And anytime a thought comes in your mind, you immediately try to push it away and just focus on the words in and out as you go. Slowly think in, slowly out, and think that. And also a good tip that kind of helps me stay focused, and I don't really know why it works, is like make yourself cross-eyed with your eyes closed and focus inward. You could say it's a third eye, pineal gland, whatever the fuck you want to call it, but you focus inward on that, and that is the best way I found to meditate. That's a very, very good grounding tool whenever you get overwhelmed with all this shit in your life. Now the second and the other important, which I almost find it more important, it helps me come up with a lot of ideas and come up with realizations, is I live on 50 acres of woods. And I have lots of hiking trails. I just go and I do daily hikes. Sometimes I'll hike for 3 hours in these fucking trails. I was running, but my schedule is so jam-packed with working out, construction in the heat, all this different physical shit where I had to cut out the running. I got real big into David Goggins at one point, and then I actually found the benefit of like the meditative state while you're running, but I had to cut it out because I was getting sick and frail because I was overworking myself. But put your phone down. I want you to try this. These videos, I want you to try these things as I explain them so you can understand how to implement them. You put your phone down, whatever you're watching this on, close it. You're going to go outside and you're just going to walk. No earbuds, no music, no nothing. Just breathe in. You ain't got to really focus on much, and just let thoughts come into your head. Let yourself get a little bored with it. People are so overstimulated nowadays that just the act of like hiking or walking is boring to them. They gotta have music in. But forget all that shit. Just listen to the sounds of the birds, the cicada. Listen to the grass and the leaves that crunch as you step. Listen to the thoughts in your mind. Let them flow in, because I believe they come from a higher power. But some people, whoever, to each is their own. But let the thoughts flow in and out. And whenever you start, and I want you to, another practical tip that I use is I start thinking about I let a little bit of overthinking happen. I let myself work through problems by speaking them out loud. Alright, I gotta make this video about this topic. How am I gonna explain like the best way to ground yourself and stop overthinking? And then the realization will normally come to me. How do I stop being so addicted to my phone? The realization will normally come to me. I'll have a contradiction to my faith, which if you didn't know, you're not into Christianity. A lot of faith is contradicted by your own mind, and a lot of keeping your faith and building your faith stronger is working through all these contradictions that come to you. And one of them that has come to me recently is like, why would all humans worship like a god, like a mortal king, if God doesn't have ego and these human emotions and things like that? I just come up with contradictions, and then I think out realizations to contradict those things to keep my faith. And that's just like I just do that every single time I'm walking, and it helps me, dog. And I promise you it'll help you ground yourself and also make realizations and feel at peace with yourself. Because, let's be honest, dog, this world we live in with all these phones and shit, it's hard to unplug. It's hard to not be overstimulated. I don't do any drugs. I have finally, for the first time on self-improvement, not the first time, but the longest chunk and the chunk I feel most confident in, I'm not like all scared that I'm gonna break into bad habits again. I've quit alcohol, pornography, weed, I monitor most of the content I watch. I keep up with all the positive habits I want to do and shit like that. And I really feel like the hardest habit that I've ever quit is this phone, is making this content, being plugged in all the time, wanting to keep myself stimulated by something. And these little practices allow from a step away from that for us to allow ourselves like children to be bored again and just go on adventures and just fucking be free, dog. Your phones and technology and what you're watching this on is the 50% dystopian part that's been man-made in the last 50 years. None of these parasocial relationships or anything. Yeah, there were people that were like fans of like of famous people back in the day and shit like that. But I'm talking about like, you could never watch a 24-hour stream in the 70s of some guy counting to 5 million. You couldn't watch that shit. There weren't all these parasocial relationships. So, Practice these things. They will help you unplug. I promise you it will help you. For the longest time, I've thought of, like, I've seen meditation. It was kind of one of those habits where I just was like, all right, I'm going to do all these other positive ones like the gym and shit that I can see results. Because that meditation, it doesn't really seem to work that much. I don't really get that much out of it. Until you actually start doing things that are really overwhelming, and you start time blocking and start utilizing all of your time where you barely have any free time, then you'll appreciate the tool of meditation or a hike. You'll appreciate that disconnect that allows you to just recharge your brain, to just be at peace for a little bit, so then you can go back to work. A break, if you will. So, if you enjoyed this, I promise you implementing these tips will help you ground yourself and help you stop overthinking. Chase paper and enjoy nature, old son. Have a great fucking day. Christ is king, bitch. Almost forgot to say that. I can't believe I did it.